Hey, what's going on YouTube? Thanks for checking out another video. I'm actually uploading my video that you will potentially have seen that I'm posting here now, I guess, in the past by the time this video gets posted. So I'm wearing the same hat, wearing the same shirt, but while that one was uploading, figured I'd take a moment and quickly share another video with you guys. I have been purchasing quite a few cards on Golden Auctions and Golden Marketplace. I've seen decent prices on both of those, but when you purchase them specifically at the marketplace, they're just going to transfer the card in the PSA vault from the prior owner to you as the owner. When you purchase them at auction, you have an option to instantly mail those cards to yourself or move them to the PSA vault. When the cards get moved to the PSA vault, there's two things that essentially are advantageous for us to do as collectors. If you pay sales tax in your given state on online purchases, if you move the cards to the vault and they retain themselves in the vault for 90 days, you don't immediately pay sales tax on those cards. What's the loophole? I'll be 100% brutally honest with you guys. I don't know. I just know that when I'm purchasing cards and moving them to the vault, or they're moving from the prior owner's card to me in the vault, and I retain ownership of those cards, I'm not paying sales tax. Now, come tax time, I'm sure I'm going to be paying sales tax on these cards, all online purchases. So I will have a record of these online purchases, and I will be paying those taxes in the future. But when I think about my ability to spend today and stretch my dollars today, I'm able to do that and save immediately on taxes when I'm moving Golden Auction or Golden Marketplace purchases to the vault. Second thing, for a limited time only, I have really been buying cards from Golden for, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 months now, maybe a little bit longer than that. And they have a promotion that if a card is transferred to the vault and then you ship that card to yourself, you pay $1 in shipping per card. No more, no less. It is a limited time promotion. I don't know when that's going away. It technically could go away tomorrow. I don't know if at that point I'll be hit with higher transfer fees. If I do, I'll just instantly mail all of the cards to myself. But as long as the shipping is reduced all the way down to $1 per card, it is advantageous for me to just keep the cards at the vault for roughly 90 days. This Wilt Chamberlain I picked up multiple months ago, so it's close to being to the time where I can actually send it to myself. But over the next, I don't know, I think there's maybe 10 or 12, maybe 15 cards here that I threw on this slideshow. All of these cards are currently in the vault. They're kind of at various stages related to timing. Some of those cards I purchased as recently as last night, based upon the time that I'm recording this video. And then cards like this I have owned for some time. And so I'll kind of chronologically, based upon oldest to newest related to how long I've owned the cards, share the cards that I'm picking up. I'm going to try and be fairly brief and kind of just quickly go through the cards. This 1973-74 Topps Wilt Chamberlain. I am making a very conservative effort to find mid-tier, mid-grade cards for the 1970s for Wilt Chamberlain. Doing that with Wilt and Dr. J and Kareem and Jerry West, Pistol Pete, handful of guys that I consider the GOATs of either the 60s or 50s, 60s, 70s, that I'm really trying to make an effort to pick up all of their cards. Eventually I'll move on to guys like Havlicek and Frazier and a handful of others. But for right now, Wilt Chamberlain's one of those guys. This PSA 5, kind of a mid-grade, is currently the only copy of this card that I own, and pretty excited to have this card eventually shipped to myself over the upcoming weeks. Next card I got for you guys is a 1975 Dr. J. For the most part, I'm getting really close to having all of the Dr. J cards, at least in ownership. This is a card that I've probably had in the vault for at least a month, so there's probably about 2 months before this card gets sent to me. This is a 75-76. As I just mentioned with the Wilt, Dr. J, I'm trying to do the 70s decades run. This is one grade off of a collector grade and a PSA 6. Very excited to have this card in my collection. It's one of my favorite Dr. J cards from that era. Brooks Robinson, 1959 Topps. So 59 Topps is officially a set that I'm trying to get all the Hall of Famers from. I've been buying these cards kind of on the sly and just buying them raw and putting them in a box for quite some time now, kind of with the idea that eventually I would potentially get enough of them that I would collect the entire 1950 Hall of Famers run. And so, I haven't really necessarily mentioned that to you guys on prior videos. So this is me officially telling you guys I am truly trying to target the 1950 Topps. Brooks Robinson, his rookie card was 57. This is the 59, so it's a third-year card. It's the oldest Brooks Robinson I currently own, as I do not have the rookie card, which is a card that I am searching for at the right price and the right condition. But excited to add a third-year Brooks Robinson as part of the newly, formed 1959 Hall of Fame collection that I'm putting together. Billy Williams, much like the 59 collection, I've already shared with you guys. 1968 is a set that I have been collecting for some time, all the Hall of Famers. I was missing the Billy Williams in graded format. I am trying to collect those as graded cards. I do actually own this card in raw format. It's only worth a couple of bucks, so it's not all that rare or it's not all that valuable, but ran across this card. I picked this up for under 10 bucks. Anytime you're getting a graded card, even in a PSA 3, for under 10 bucks, you're generally doing pretty good if it's a 1950s, 60s type card. So pretty excited to add this. When I looked at this card in the photos and zoomed in, I don't see any major creases or surface imperfections. So I'll be really excited to actually see this card in person. But this is a card I have purchased in the last 30 days. So I've still got some time before this card will actually get sent to me. Jim Palmer. So this one's a little bit interesting. This is a card I won at auction. 74 is not a set I'm collecting, but I have been picking up a lot of the 1974 cards, the Hall of Famers specifically. I was actually bidding on a few other cards at this specific auction, and I went ahead and put a bid on the Jim Palmer just because I was trying to add to the cards that I thought that I was going to purchase at that auction, or make a really conservative run to win at auction. Ironically, all of the cards that I was bidding on that I had full intention of being the high bidder on went higher than I was willing to pay for those cards. And the only card I ended up winning that night was this Jim Palmer, and I paid like $5, $6, $7, something like that. So it's super cheap, generally speaking, for a PSA 5. Again, only just a mid-tier grade, a couple off of collector grade, but not necessarily chasing Jim Palmer, not necessarily chasing the 1974 set as far as Hall of Famers. But anytime you can pick up a wonderful Hall of Famer like Jim Palmer for under 10 bucks for a graded copy, a mid-tier kind of graded copy, I'm certainly not upset about it. I'm more than happy to add this one to my collection. Hank Aaron, 1974. So here's another 1974. This was more of a value play. I own this card already. I own this card raw in really, really good shape. Really excited about my raw copy. But I seen this card at the marketplace. It was like 14 bucks. And I probably looked at it for a day, maybe 12 hours or so, kind of seen it in the evening, woke up the next morning, and I had this card on my brain and was like, man, if that card's still there, I just need to go buy it. So I paid 14 bucks for it. When you buy at the marketplace, there's no sort of like buyer's premium like you have at the auctions. So this was 14 bucks. It is only a PSA 3. It's one of my favorite cards of Hank Aaron. I don't know why, but it's always been a card that's really caught my eye. This is his base card for folks that aren't really familiar with kind of the vintage 1974 set. But yeah, no, just a good card. When I did zoom in on the photos on this card, the corners are soft. That's why it's PSA 3. I don't see any major creases or surface defects. But corners are soft for sure for a 1974 card. But anytime you're getting a Hank Aaron playing days card for $14, generally you're probably doing okay. Barry Bonds. So ironically, I was looking at this card in my collection prior to buying this card, and had noticed that the raw copy I had, I wasn't really happy with it because the upper black portion of the card was a little bit kind of flaky. The edges were not what I was hoping for. So I kind of put it in my memory banks of, you know what, if I find this card in a PSA 8 or 9, like a good solid 8 or a PSA 9, and I can find it for the right price, I'm going to buy it. Ironically, within days, I was on the marketplace, the golden marketplace. Somebody had probably posted, I don't know, 4 or 5 of these in PSA 7s and 8s. They listed one at PSA 9. I think they were asking $25 on it with a best offer situation. I went to eBay, seeing kind of what the average price was, went and looked at what the low price was, and I actually offered below the kind of 3-month low, and the guy took it. So I'm under $20 on this card for a PSA 9. Yeah, the centering's not perfect left to right. You can definitely tell that there's some centering issues there, but really cool card. A card I think that if you're my age and you ever watched Barry Bonds play, regardless of what you think about the whole steroids thing, it's tough not to say, to have watched this guy and say he wasn't a legit player pre-steroids, and steroids obviously amplified that. At least most of us would believe, because he's, to the best of my knowledge, never pissed hot. I could be wrong there. My memory may be a little soft there. But seen this card, love the Topps traded set from 1986, love the Bo Jackson, love this one. Who else is in that? Canseco might be in that as well. But yeah, I ironically was looking at it and said, you know what, if I find the right one, a couple days later, found the right one. So happy to add that to my collection. This was a recent purchase, so I won't own this card personally, meaning own it in my hands for probably 80 days from now. So I've got some time before I actually physically get this one. This Dave Cowens, I bought roughly the same time. This fits in my 75th anniversary team. This is a Dave Cowens rookie card, 1971-72 Topps. This is only in a PSA 5. I was looking at a PSA 6 very closely on eBay. It's actually still for sale on eBay. But there was either a print dot or a stain above the B, the Boston B up there. And the more I looked at it, I was just like, you know what, that's just going to drive me nuts. It actually looked more like an oil stain or something like that. Just a little perfect circle dot up there. Even though it was in a higher grade, I just couldn't pull the trigger on it. I am trying to finish my 70s decades run for the 75th anniversary team Hall of Fame rookie cards. I was missing the Dave Cowens, and I'm missing the Bill Walton, I think it is. There may be one other that I'm missing as well, but I definitely know the Bill Walton. I think I'm either down to 1 or 2, but I am trying to get that 70s decades run complete. Cowens was one of the last 2 or 3 that I was missing. I didn't get a stellar deal on this one. I paid right at about average current day comps. And so, yeah, I'm excited to own it. This will be my version for my collection. Even though it's a couple of grades below a collector grade, which is normally what I'm targeting or shooting for. It's a good looking card. I'm very excited to own this one. Joe Dumars, rookie card. This is part of a kind of a micro collection I've been putting together really since the start of the year. As prices continued to come down and down and down and down, 86 Fleer has always been one of my favorite sets of all time. And I own all of the cards, the 86 Fleer rookie cards that I got back when I was a kid. I still own all of those cards. All of them are raw, with the exception of the Jordan, which I did have graded. And I still own that Jordan to this day. But as the prices of these cards skyrocketed and started coming back down to real world type prices, I said to myself at some point last year that I wanted to own all of these cards, at least in a 8 grade. These cards aren't crazy rare, but they are very popular, as most of us would know. And so I have slowly been buying all these cards in PSA 8 grade. And I think I'm down to, I need the Dominique, which I own raw. I need the Barkley, which I own raw. I need a Worthy, which I own raw. And then I need the Ralph Sampson, which I've never owned, to be totally honest. He is a Hall of Famer. And so I will add that card to this collection. Probably only like 10, maybe no more than 12, but I think it's closer to 10 cards that are Hall of Famers from the 1980, Hall of Fame rookie cards from the 1986 Fleer set. So yeah, I'm getting close. This is just the next one kind of that I've picked up in 2023. Ozzie Smith. So this is actually an upgrade card. Post-War Hall of Fame rookie card collection, PSA 6. It's 1 grade off of the collector grade. I own this card in a lesser grade, but I wanted to upgrade at some point. I got this card at a really good price. It was a no-brainer purchase for me. But yeah, I got it at a really good price. Card I wanted to upgrade. I like the centering, generally speaking, on this one. It appears to have pretty decent presentation, so excited to add this one. This is a card I picked up last night, so I won't physically have this card in my hands for the next like 79 days. So it'll be some time before I actually get this one in my hands, but this one will replace the card that I currently have in the post-war Hall of Fame collection. Larry Walker. 1990 Leaf, Larry Walker rookie card. This is post-war Hall of Fame collection. Again, a card I've owned raw. I have multiple copies of this card raw. I didn't want to spend a lot on this card just because there's just so many of these cards in existence. I couldn't see spending 15, 20, 30, 40 bucks. Paid $9 for this card. $8 or $9, I forget. I think it was $9. Might have been $8, but I don't have it in this presentation. Tonight I just picked up a 1988 Craig Biggio score traded, I think is what it was. That's the representation for the Biggio. I think it was from the same seller just based upon how he had them priced. And he wasn't accepting offers until I think that $9 price point. So I'm not going to be sharing that card with you guys as far as a digital version. I didn't take the time to throw that card in this presentation. But I did just pick up the Craig Biggio as well. So those are cards that I've owned. I own all those cards in raw fashion or format, but I didn't own them in PSA 9s. If you can pick them up for $10 or less, that's the price point I want to be for those types of cards. So excited to add both the Larry Walker and the Craig Biggio to that collection. So slight upgrades if you want to think of them. The fact that they're graded cards as being upgrades. All right, that's what I got for you guys tonight. I'm actually recording this video while the prior video that I posted is being uploaded to the old YouTube. That should probably be done right about now. So I'll get this video posted and try and be a little bit more consistent in my video outputs. Hope you guys enjoyed this video if you're still here. As always, I'll chat with you guys in the next one.